Hello, everybody. I hope you're well. So, I wanted to say a few words on the subject of God. God is it's a popular subject nowadays. People on TikTok like to go on there and have God debates. They'll be like, prove to me that God is real. And then people will come in and, try to prove such a thing. Or, there'll be somebody on the flip side of it talking about, prove to me that God isn't real. Right? And nobody ever proves whether God is real or whether God isn't real. But I think people are drawn to that discussion. Especially right now, because the world is apparently fully insane. Not partially. Not like 81.2%, like 100% fully insane. So in times like that, then people want comfort. People search for comfort more than then when everything is comfortable, when everything is going smoothly, when they have plenty of money in the bank, when World War III is not attempting to currently happen at this very moment. That type of a time. So people look for God because they have some idea in their head that God will save them. Or at the very least, God will help a little bit, like maybe add a few dollars into the bank account, or maybe let the ex know that they shouldn't be treating you like that. We generally try to bargain with God. We try to either get something that we want or get rid of something that we don't want. It's kind of humans' original nature is bargaining. And that nature in us also causes a bit of trouble from time to time. Because we are looking for the tension in a situation rather than letting it be. Rather than let any given situation be, we find where it's loud or where it's pulling, where there's some sort of tension or some sort of constriction or noise, anything that can capture that point of attention that we navigate by. And that point of attention is expensive. You may not know this, but that when somebody is like bartering or vying for the the attention of the attention, not even that, like when somebody is like trying to acquire it, it's expensive. It's really expensive. And it's expensive for you to look for it also. If you don't know like where it is or where it came from, you don't know how to find it, even though it's right with you, it's expensive. It tires you out. So the attention is expensive, but it's also very valuable to know about that, to know what the home for that is, and to know how it relates to you. It's important information. But on the topic of God, or rather, I wanted to start off with talking about you, not God, you. Before you search for God, look for yourself. If you want to find God, you're going to find God at some point. If you want to find yourself, you're going to find yourself at some point. There's a decent chance you might find both in the same place. Maybe on purpose, maybe on accident. I don't know. But you can use one to point to the other, and you can use the other to point to the one. But if you've only been on one side for a really long time, really, really long time, then maybe you forgot the other side existed. Right? Maybe you forgot. And I think a lot of people spend their time wishing to be closer to God, but they maybe they didn't think about the other side of that. Like, maybe God's somewhere and he's just like lonely. Just like he's missing his other half. What did that happen? Like, why is everyone so selfish? Like, oh, I miss God. Someone get God for me. Jesus. When really, God's just been on the other side and he's like, where the fuck did everybody go? Right? So maybe God's lonely. So maybe you could reach out and be like, hey, God, how's it going? You want to talk, or you want to chat, or like you want to have some lunch together? Can I do anything for you? You know? How often do we do that? Probably not too often, I would say. If you want a technique, I can give you a technique. And I know everybody wants to be like force-fed stuff, but the problem is everybody has been force-fed with media stuff and stuff from people who are trying to get something out of a situation, and that has hurt people, so they don't trust anymore. But the problem is that feeling of the feeling that you get when you ask something, or you're searching for somebody and you try to use another human being as the conduit for your discovery of said item. Nothing can beat the feeling when another human actually delivers that. Like, they can reach into your soul almost and see and feel exactly what it is that you need and give it to you. Nothing can beat that feeling. So that's why a lot of people are suffering and hurting right now, because most people have not been getting that at all. Like none. And they all forgot what it felt like. And when you haven't had that for a long time, excuse me, when you haven't had that for a long time, part of you starts dying. And if that happens for too long, then eventually you have a dreamscape full of like living dead dream zombie people, and the few who are still alive have been sort of dozing also, because they also haven't received that direct being to being like exchange, where someone asks for something like in spirit form and the other gives it, and it's nourishing. And it's not nourishing in a visible or even necessarily a palpable physical way, but it's how we live. So, before I take off, the technique I'm going to give it's just a meditation technique. So, however long you're going to meditate, I would say like 5 to 10 minutes. Just get comfortable on your mat or your rag or the grass or wherever. And it may take a while to even approach this feeling. Or maybe you can do it right off the bat, I don't know. But within your 5 minutes, so I'm going to say basically what the Buddhists say to start with, which is just watch. That point of attention I was talking about earlier in the video, be that for 5 to 10 minutes. Another way you can put it is, what part of my present moment isn't moving? You can consider that half of the equation, and then you can consider everything else, which your body is part of that side of the equation. The car, noise, eyesight, visual, smells, hears, tastes, etc. And the -5, 0, 5 or so seconds on either side of the moment window that literally comprises the entire universe for you. And that in addition to mind. So infinite forward and backward, you can't see a lot of it. You can only see like a little itty bit, but the rest is there, still accessible to you. So we have this equation. It's half of it is nothing is moving whatsoever. It's absolute silence. It's stillness, emptiness, blankness, the void, whatever you want to call it. And then on the other side is you, like physical body mind complex, all the other human beings, the buildings, the lights, the snow, temperature, hot, cold, thoughts, not thoughts, everything is inverse. Past, future, present. Did I miss anything? Okay. All that is on one side. And then stillness, emptiness, the actual fulcrum of the present moment, the 0 point, that's the other side. Most of us spend our entire lives thinking that we are just the one half where shit's moving around. And that's part of the hide and seek game. But the actuality of it is we are both. And this is not privileged information. This is not something that you're going to get in trouble for knowing. It just doesn't matter. No matter how your life is lived out, no matter what your persona does throughout its life, no matter whether you hurt people or don't hurt people, whether you succeed according to your own definitions or not, what you do, the half of you that's focusing on the phenomenal plane and all this like noisy shit, what that does doesn't mean anything. It means anything to that half. It doesn't mean anything to the other half. And if you're in that half, then it means a lot to you, because that's the only half that you're identifying with, when really the other half is just as important. It's just as big, it's just as meaningful, as relevant, and that other half is what you call God. That's it. Just spend time with yourself, 5 to 10 minutes. You can even say, hey God, show me you. And it's not like, it's not what you think it is. It really isn't. And I would not say it's exactly half, although it kind of is, like to where all the phenomenal players, that's all that's on this side, and only emptiness, stillness, that's all that's on this side. I don't really think it's exactly like that. I think like tendrils come through this way and tendrils come through that way. It's like, it's not that set in stone. It's the yin yang, right? Okay, thanks for listening to me ramble about God, and I hope you find God soon, okay? Peace!